Yeah, he had a great run, and it's fun to watch. I think I watched Indiana State and Iowa. Caitlin Clark play about the same last year, so I watched a lot of basketball.
The basketball world has radically changed as a result of the Indiana Fever's sudden coaching change. Stephanie White, the season leader who had previously guided the club to victory, was suddenly fired. The famous Larry Bird, whose name alone makes people tremble throughout sports history, is the only person who can truly replace her. Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's biggest star, was utterly taken aback. But what could have brought about such a spectacular disruption? This is the story of the unexpected turn of events and the shocking discovery that caught the basketball community off guard. Nobody could have predicted that moment. Not the media, not the ardent fans packed into Gainbridge Fieldhouse, and most definitely not the most experienced basketball analysts. The arena was filled with the usual energy, but as soon as Caitlin Clark approached the microphone, everything changed. As if everyone in the crowd had suddenly stopped, a collective quiet came upon the gathering. Music. All eyes were on her, and every camera lens was focused on her. Every ear was straining to hear her words. Then she uttered some simple yet powerful words. Music. They immediately took the basketball world by storm. The Indiana Fever's head was changed. However, this was no ordinary hire. Coach that IT was a totally unanticipated individual whose mere appearance promised to totally refute what fans thought was true about the WNBA. This was not your usual announcement. It wasn't a simple team rejuvenation or organizational change. This was a significant shift with wide-ranging effects that might alter the basic framework of women's professional basketball. The consequences were startling. Suddenly, the traditional boundaries of player influence, corporate decision-making, and strategic leadership were being revised in real time. Already well known both on and off the court, Caitlin Clark had taken charge in a variety of ways and established herself as a crucial figure who may have an impact on the team's future. Inquiries began to come in almost immediately via social media, locker room conversations, and sports media networks. How was this mythical character connected to the Fever? What secret discussions, agreements, and behind-the-scenes activities had contributed to this historic occasion? Could this partnership, music, which looks unlikely on paper but is definitely thrilling in practice, change the league's trajectory as well as that of the team? For the next generation of WNBA players, coaches, and fans seeing history unfold in front of them, what did it mean? The arena mirrored the excitement on the internet. Journalists covering sports hurried to get expert commentary. While fans fiercely debated the possible results, analysts rushed to understand the action. Every post, tweet, and article seemed to express the same concept. 4 years to come, the effects of what had just occurred would be felt. A potential clash of star power, talent, and strategy was about to usher in a new age. Caitlin Clark was more than just a player at the time, challenging conventional notions of success and professional women's sports. She was a spark that created a fire of interest, a catalyst for change, speculation, and zeal when she announced a change in coaching. Beyond simply hiring a new head coach, the Indiana Fever had done more. They have opened the door to an unparalleled era in the WNBA, one where boundaries are being pushed, conventions are being questioned, and there are a ton of chances ahead. Caitlin Clark's shocking statement era signifies the beginning of a new WNBA. However, who is she to make such a daring assertion? Let's examine the amazing tale of the rookie who turned the Indiana Fever into both a cultural phenomenon and a commercial force. There is more to Caitlin Clark than just a player. She is influential in culture. Impact goes far beyond the court, transforming the Indiana Fever in ways that few players have ever achieved in their careers. From the moment she stepped onto the court as a rookie, Clark was more than just a basketball player. Music. She reinvented what it meant to be a game-changer in professional sports. Music. She turned a long-thought-out franchise into one of the most thrilling teams in the WNBA in just one season. It used to be believed that the Fever was just another. The team that was struggling for relevance attracted fans from all throughout the league. Attendance at Gainbridge Fieldhouse skyrocketed in order to witness Clark's brilliance firsthand, and season ticket sales rose by around 400%. The arena, which had often appeared deserted, turned into a hive of activity. Every move Clark makes has fans buzzing with excitement. But the transformation didn't stop there. For a long time, corporate sponsors and brand alliances have been searching for the perfect ambassador to ignite their campaigns. They hurried to the Fever after realizing that Clark's presence alone might boost their impact and visibility. From little businesses to large organizations, everyone wanted a piece of this growing star's orbit. Additionally, the team's financial and commercial image rose in tandem with her dominance on the court. Her influence was further enhanced by social media. Every highlight, assist, and game-winning shot that Clark made resonated across platforms, attracting both casual fans and seasoned specialists. Following that, she became a cultural figure in a matter of months thanks to feature pieces, interviews, and other mainstream media coverage, as well as TV specials that honored not only her athletic achievements but also her charm, attitude, music, and leadership. Phenomenon, music. The kind of person whose influence extends well beyond athletics. What makes Clark so special? However, her unmatched amount of authority and influence within the organization is what truly sticks out. She has a voice in significant choices, including those pertaining to coaching and team tactics, due to her famous status. Long-tenured leaders or management typically make decisions. The Fever are now more than just a basketball team competing for wins. They are an extension of Clark's vision and a way for her to use strategic knowledge, marketability, and leadership to influence the franchise's future. This special combination of organizational influence, intellect, and athleticism in professional sports is almost unparalleled. Clark's ability to draw attention, inspire fans, and have an impact on operational decisions, establishing her as the Fever's face music, and a catalyst that can revive the team's identity. Instead of merely playing the game, she is altering the rules. Combining business, culture, and sports into one engrossing narrative. Music. Few rookies could ever hope to make the kind of enduring impact that Caitlin Clark has, turning the Indiana Fever from a struggling club into a powerful force both on and off the court. Beyond basketball, Caitlin Clark's brilliance is a cultural phenomenon. Has she, however, fulfilled her potential? Has she truly caught up with her coaching? Her extraordinary talent. Now let's look at the reasons why Clark and Stephanie White have different coaching philosophies. Game and makes Indiana feel more anxious. Caitlin Clark speaks up. Stephanie White is regarded by many as a skilled basketball coach. Some argue that Caitlin Clark isn't the ideal person to mentor her though. Suitable fit. White's coaching credentials are not being questioned. Clearly, she's successful. But there's a growing belief that her approach could not work well with Clark's natural playing style. To find out why, let's examine Clark's own ideas. She openly discussed the challenges of playing under White's method in a podcast interview with Sue Bird. Despite playing at a high level and posting 32 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds in a single game, Clark stressed that she periodically faced obstacles that limited her performance. In one notable interaction, Clark felt that her instinct-driven style was repressed in New York, particularly when she was compelled to make safe plays rather than a high. Her IQ and aggressive moves are what make her succeed. She recalled moments when she was about to record a triple-double but was restrained or gently reprimanded for taking calculated risks that may have extended her team's advantage or motivated the crowd. She gave the example of a close fourth quarter in which she had a turnover but was immediately benched for what White saw as a teaching moment. Clark explained that these lessons follow her natural flow, which is based on play that is motivated by momentum and instinctive decisions. She believes that the purpose of basketball is to maximize opportunities rather than avoid errors, taking measured risks and trusting her abilities at the time. Clark also expressed dissatisfaction with White's tendency to pause the game during critical moments. When the Fever had a significant lead, White's strategy often favored them. Clark argued that White's caution occasionally prevented her from making instinctive passes, music, to make room for teammates like Sophie Cunningham or Kelsey Mitchell, which prevented her team from scoring easier points instead of seizing open opportunities for high-percentage shots. The result, in Clark's opinion, was a more boring style of play that did not fully exploit her talent or excite viewers. Clark believes the root of the issue is White's attempts to mold her into a player she isn't. White wants her to play like Paige Buchers, a very different athlete with a more muted approach, according to Clark. Clark is a generational talent with a daring outlook who likes to try new things, make unique choices, and play with force. The natural chemistry of a floor is disrupted and her powers are weakened when someone tries to transform her into someone she isn't. Ultimately, this friction highlights the delicate balance between coaching strategy and player instinct. White is obviously gifted, but Clark's comments suggest otherwise. Giving elite players the freedom to play how they see fit is often necessary for actual brilliance in basketball. It's clear what Caitlin Clark has to learn. Her game flourishes when she is trusted to provide her best effort. Innate potential, a lesson that highlights the significance of both roster talent and coaching alignment. Caitlin Clark does best when she is not constrained by cautious supervision. But who has the regal vision and wisdom to reach her full potential, and whose famous past makes him capable of taking on such a risky undertaking? Let's look at the details. The legendary Indiana basketball player takes over. Basketball prowess is the first thing that comes to mind when you hear Larry Bird's name. Few athletes have had such a significant influence on the sport. Bird's impact extends well beyond the basketball court. With 12 All-Star selections, 3 NBA titles, 3 MVP awards, and decades of coaching and management experience, Bird is more than just a basketball player. He is a live example of skill, strategy, and leadership in the game. His influence can be seen on many fronts, from the businesses he shaped from the front office to the sportsmen he inspired on the court. Indiana, a state that both affected and was influenced by Bird, is intrinsically related to Bird's story. Growing up in the little village of French Lick, he developed the vision, work ethic, and unyielding competition that would define his career. His visit to Indiana State University became legendary after that. Bird's senior year culminated in the historic 1979 NCAA championship game against Magic Johnson, a match that is still considered one of the most exciting in the history of college basketball. That moment not only cemented Bird's place in basketball history, but it also marked the start of a career marked by accuracy, intelligence, and clutch performances. Bird's influence on the sport persisted beyond his playing career as he transitioned easily into managing and coaching roles. He helped create long-term strategies that positioned the Indiana Pacers for long-term success by using his keen basketball abilities to guide the team to consecutive Eastern Conference Finals. Music. Bird's understanding of the game and his ability to manage talent and build winning cultures earned him respect from both players and peers, basketball fans, and pundits around the world.